Hello friends, it's Trevor, it's Avery, it's Pat, it's the citywide special. The Flyers are the hottest team in town, taking 5 of 6 points on the road, including a decisive win over the powerhouse Avalanche. Travis Konechny is on pace for a 40-goal season, while Sean Couturier is back in Selke-candidate form. Is the team too good to rebuild? The Sixers are on a roll, winning 4 in a row as they take advantage of a week's stretch in the schedule. Joel Embiid continues to outperform last year's MVP season. Could the franchise center win another? Patrick Beverley is sinking threes and crushing beers. The Sixers face the terrible Pistons again on Friday. The Phillies meet with free agent pitcher Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Is there any chance the Titans could land the coveted starter? And could Bryce Harper be getting an extension? The Eagles eat shit again. A combination of lackluster defense and turnovers lead to a miserable defeat to the Cowboys. Can the Birds right the ship? Who is to blame for the recent skid? And where will the Eagles end up going into the playoffs? All that and more coming up right now. How's it going, fellas?
Good. Another chilly Thursday. Today's Thursday.
Thursday, yeah.
Yeah, pretty good. Good to be back. One team's doing bad. Most of them are doing well. But other than that, I can't complain.
Yeah, it got cold out. I guess winter's here.
It is, yeah. It is December. It's the winter time.
It hit. I mean, we had a couple of those nice little 55, 60-degree days here and there, but now it seems like it's on a regular basis of being wet before we get into Monday, and then just miserable and cold the rest of the week. Pretty nice out while you're working, and then just dark and cold when you're ready to have fun. So, other than that, I guess I can't complain.
Well, yeah, like I was complaining about a few weeks ago, that's one of the worst things about daylight savings time.
Yeah.
Is when it ends and you're just in standard time. It gets dark early. Because it gets dark early, it gets cold early. It stays cold. So it's dark longer in the morning, so it stays colder longer in the morning. Get a couple hours of daylight, and then it's dark again. It's cold. It's miserable. Like I said, people wonder why seasonal depression, or what my therapist call it. He had some term for it that I don't remember.
I think it's seasonal depression.
No, he had some other term.
Another word?
Like seasonal something, or I don't know. If any therapists listen to this podcast, please educate me again. But anyway, yeah, people wonder why that's such an issue. It's because of standard time. I'll die on this hill.
Yeah, no good.
But other than that, I'm fine.
I'm still, protesting by not changing my digital clocks.
What time does one of your clocks say it is right now?
I guess it would say it's
2.
It'd say it's 9:50.
Well,
right?
you can't cheat and look at your computer clock.
Yeah.
Well, I was just checking to see what time it was.
Oh, okay.
It's an hour ahead.
I guess it is 8:50 right now instead of 9. Okay.
Yeah. So but I don't change. I just we went over this before in episode 2 way back.
And 8 and.
Yeah, like I said, I'm going to die on this hill. This will be a topic. When we're doing this pod in 4 years, I'm still going to be ranting about daylight savings time. It could be non-existent by then, and I'm still going to be upset about it.
Another hill to die on is to hold ourselves accountable and...
Hold yourself accountable.
Well, myself, all of us, but
what even was the thing?
So this was because the episode before Thanksgiving, Pat said that the Commanders were going to beat the Cowboys on Thanksgiving.
Oh,
and we
yeah.
bet a shot on it.
Yeah.
And
I forgot to do the shot.
The week I wasn't here, he didn't do it. So last week when I came back with receipts, this was one of the items on the receipt, was he didn't do a shot.
And I didn't blatantly forget. I just naturally am forgetful. So thank you for calling that out. And I will do one. I did, the whiskey of choice right now is the Eagles Bird Gang. I did get, in case the Eagles turned it around last Sunday, which they clearly did not. So trying it for the first time here. If anybody wants to partake as well, you may join.
I plan to. I don't got work tomorrow, man.
But I'm going to whack it back now to get the first one over with. I did double down last week because I forgot, so I said I would do 2.
You said with interest.
I did, so I'll do 2. But the first one we can all share together if you'd like. So here we go. They don't deserve it, but
cheers.
Here we go. Probably
Cheers.
tastes like a loss.
Let's drink 'em, buddy. Yeah, it kind of just tastes like bourbon.
It's not bad.
Actually pretty smooth. I figured it was going to be like Jim Beam and it's American bourbon, but it's a little smoother than Jim Beam, maybe because it's chilled. That was good.
That's not bad.
It's better than the Eagles have been playing, I'll tell you that much.
That's for sure.
Yeah, you gotta knock a few shots down to watch this fucking team. Am I right?
I tried to on Sunday, but after 2 shots and 2 beers, they just disgusted me so much. Ugh.
Honestly, they might as well just start drinking before they play. It might loosen them up a little bit so they don't play so uptight.
Who was it that Marshawn Lynch, right?
Two shots of Henny. Yeah.
They need to take a page out of his book.
Yeah.
Go beast mode on him.
2 shots of Henny and a packet of Skittles.
They need that for this week. You know they're going to have
They're going to be in Seattle.
Yeah.
That's where he made it famous.
Yeah, it's true.
But
They need to show up with that I'm just here so I don't get fined energy.
some kind of energy, some kind of swag back. This team is about as swagged out as a fucking rock. Ass.
If we're talking
Yeah.
a rock or the rock,
Yeah.
the
If they
rock.
if they get blown out again, that's what Sean Desai is going to start doing at the press conferences. Like, I'm just here if I get fined. I plead the fifth.
Yeah, you ever go to work saying that shit? I'm just here so I don't get fined. I remember I
I've
said
never
that a
said-
couple times at
No,
work.
they
never
could
said
usually
that.
just smell it on me. They're like,
Just
okay,
messing
but-
around. People did not like it very much. This is, I think, back in my Wegmans days, they did not like that very much. Probably why I'm not there. It's like, nah, that's not why I'm there. Not there anymore. I left of my own accord,
Yeah.
but they probably got tired of my shtick because of that.
That's hysterical. You're just showing up to work. You're like, yeah, I'm not going to do this today, but I'm here. So that's all you got.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But we can either start with the birds or end with the birds. I'm down for whichever end way we go. We can either start with the bad and go end with the good, or we can start with all
Let's
the good.
get them out of the way.
Yeah.
I'd rather just get them out of the way.
Yeah. It's what the folks all want to
Yeah.
hear about, I'm sure.
Another week, another disastrous game from the birds. Wasn't even close. I mean, parts of it were slightly close, but it was just fumble after touchdown.
The first defensive possession, the Cowboys just went down the field with such ease. They barely broke
made
a
it look
sweat.
easy.
Yeah.
It was just anytime we forced a third down, I'm thinking, here we go. They're going to convert. Sure enough, they would
God,
convert.
don't be saying that now.
Oh, what? Here we go.
Here we go.
Here we go.
That shit's on Brent. Yeah. I can't even say that anymore without
your
thinking about Dak
nightmares.
Prescott.
The
Yeah.
most obnoxious cadence in the league. But yeah, I mean, the Cowboys just made it look so easy. That first drive, I'm just already just thinking it's over. And then we come out, we have a good drive, we fumble, give the ball back to them, and before you know it, they're already up 2 touchdowns in the blink of an eye.
worst third down defense
Yeah.
in the NFL.
Yeah, we have been for the last few
Yeah.
weeks.
46%.
It's crazy
Give it
because
up.
they're actually pretty good at getting to third down. But then it's just like, you can't even get excited about that. Even if it's like 3rd and 9, it's like, yeah, they're probably going to, it's the rate that they've been converting against us on third down is just unbelievable.
Last 3 games, 61% on third down. It could be
I
third.
thought it was like 70%.
Third. 60 still.
That's still awful.
And that's
but
including
pretty
not
terrible.
only just third and ones. There's a lot of third and double digits. 3rd and 11, 3rd and 12, 3rd and
Yeah.
10. And they
Yeah,
just 3rd and 15, 3rd
That
and
Bills,
22.
that Bills game, Josh Allen was picking up 3rd and 10s easy.
It's just ridiculous. And there's some flags in between here and there where, like, you know, a long pass and maybe there's a little ticky-tacky flag that gets thrown and you get a free first down. But
Yeah.
most
There's
of
that one
these...
on Slay that was pretty bad.
Yeah, but
They scored a touchdown on.
and they gave some of that to us as well against Dallas. But as a season whole, this defense, I don't know why, even when it's like 2nd and 8, why are we not playing press? Why are we giving up? You're giving them 10 yards off the jump, and you know your defense is susceptible to really any passing offense. Just play press.
Yeah.
Because you're giving them so much room, it's not working out at all anyway. You got no linebacker core that can play. You got no safeties that are going to cover. You got no corners that really are locking down.
They've been like rushing 5 a lot on third down and getting
Yeah.
burned on it. Like,
Yeah.
it's just,
You can't blitz when you have no one to cover.
Well, there were a couple times they brought a zero blitz. They brought the house. I'm thinking of
They give
the
up
Ferguson touchdown, but catch over the middle for like 30-some yards. They bring a zero blitz. No one's covering him in the middle of the field. That's just... You don't blitz Dak Prescott. Historically, Dak's been one of the best quarterbacks in the league the last several years against
Yeah.
the blitz. And they just got so blitz happy. I guess because they figured nothing else was working. But, I mean, you don't blitz a guy that's great against the blitz. That's not going to work. That's not your panacea for something like that.
yeah. Fucking Sean Desai has been listening to too much WIP probably, and callers be just being like, you got to blitz.
Yep.
I think they all have.
They want to blitz every play.
I think all the coaches have been like, I understand that it's cool to like be one with the city and be into it and all this stuff, but like you can't have after every game, you're blitzing heavy, whatever. You get the same defensive front just about that you had last year. You can't quite get the sacks. You're getting half the pressures, less than half of the sacks you got last year with the same defensive front. The offense can't function at all. And then,
we can get to the offense. I got a bunch of shit
I'm just saying, like, from a coach's standpoint of, like, listening to people, like, it doesn't work that way. I don't understand what this team is doing, and it really shows a lack of trust or a lack of respect to the linebacker core.
Yeah.
You went through this whole offseason, you lost your 2 top tacklers that were linebackers, let them go. Okay, fine. You didn't replace them.
Yeah, I mean, the Eagles have always, probably since Jeremiah Trotter, have devalued linebackers.
No, Jordan Hicks, D'Amico Ryans, we had a great linebacker
Yeah, I
core
guess
for a
that's
minute.
true. Yeah,
we did.
Trotter's probably too far back, but I mean, Jordan Hicks, D'Amico Ryans was almost 10 years ago at this point, right? Like,
What's annoying is like I can
Trotter's 20-some years.
Yeah,
after,
no, that's what I'm saying. I don't have to go back that far, but still, 10 years ago is a long time.
I think the annoying part of their whole strategy with the linebackers to me is it's one thing that you don't want to like prioritize them in the draft and all that kind of stuff, which like fine, I can understand that from like a organizational philosophy standpoint, but when you like kind of stumble upon someone good, like when like last year when it's like all of a sudden like, oh, TJ Edwards is actually like a solid linebacker,
right.
It's like try to fucking keep these guys.
Yeah.
Right.
Like when you fucking like just like fall ass backwards into like an effective linebacker, like fucking keep them. TJ Edwards has been great for the Bears this year.
Yeah.
When someone on your team is top 3 in tackles, damn near number 1 most of the year, and it's a linebacker or a guy that's playing safety that's playing linebacker as a nickel, like Malcolm Jenkins, then keep them around. Like you said, you got TJ Edwards, even Singletary.
I would rather a Singletary
isn't like a.
It's not like TJ Edwards got like a huge deal or anything. What's he gonna pay, like $8 million or something?
Nothing, barely, nothing. That's compared to what we do for anybody else. I mean, you bring in Leonard right now at the end of the year, who only wants to get paid. You owe him $6 million. Well, I don't understand that math ain't mathing at that point.
Yeah.
When like you've been gassed all year, you have a division that, yeah, sure, Dallas lost Darren Schultz, but Ferguson's been killer. You do that last year coming in.
You got Darren Waller.
Darren Waller, who with a good quarterback could be a top 5 tight end. Obviously, you don't know, but you're playing a schedule where you got Hawkinson 2 years in a row, Kittle, fucking Kelsey. You need middle. Also, people are respecting the tight end position a lot more offensively. So you have to respect the linebacker, the middle of the field. And if you're not going to bring in a safety that can play nickel effectively, then you have to bring in a good linebacker, at least one. We don't have, it's a whole patch job.
I mean, Zach Cunningham's been pretty good, but that was just luck. I mean,
it's a patch job.
Yeah. I think they kind of put a lot of eggs in the Nakobe Dean basket, which, I mean, at the time, let's admit it, we were all pretty hyped. This guy went to Georgia, had the pedigree. We were lucky he fell to us in the 3rd round, but I mean, some of the warning signs were there from the start. He slid. He's
too small.
5'11", 230. He's injury prone.
Yep.
Injury prone throughout his collegiate career. So I think they probably invested too much in him and just didn't think about the position elsewhere. They probably figured we'll play a lot of nickel and dime packages, which, yeah, you will. But, I mean, nickel, you still need 2 linebackers.
But with who?
Dime, you still need a good linebacker, and they don't have anything. It's one of many issues with the defense, but it's probably one of the most glaring right now.
You could commit to a nickel defense if you have 2 solid safeties. So you take out Reed Blankenship as the actual safety. Who's your nickel safety? Nobody.
Yeah.
I mean, like, you got nothing there. And then you got teams that are exposing us where you put 2 high top safeties and they know that was that whole first drive.
Yeah.
They had 2 safeties high the whole time. So Dak Prescott, the whole first drive was like, I'm just going to run the ball the whole game because they can't stop up the middle. And if I want to dink and dunk, I'll get Ferguson for a first down. And that was what they did the whole first drive.
The other play this killed us was it was a 4th down. I don't remember. I wasn't even really paying attention to the game at this point. But 4th down, 4th and short, I think 4th and 2.
Yeah,
you remember the play. Yeah, they had
a little screen?
The safeties 15 yards off the line of scrimmage.
That's what I'm saying.
On 4th and 2. What the hell's wrong with you?
I think Sean Desai said that.
He said Dallas has a tendency to throw in those calls.
But it's like, I mean, what kind of sample size are we looking at here?
Right.
You know what I mean?
No one knows.
Also,
they did it once. They did it against us in the game in Philly.
but this is 3 weeks removed.
Yeah, and that's one play amongst how many times have they been in 4th and 2 this year?
You're dealing with week, 13, 14? So, yeah, you can look to an extent of what teams have done or what they do on set downs, but that's not what they're not going to just do that every fucking game. And that's what's frustrating, that, like, this team, I don't see, like, when we had Malcolm Jenkins, he was commanded the team, here we go, whatever we're doing this way. With this defense right now, there's no real leader on the team because the defensive front, they make their own commands. Like Fletcher Cox and Brandon Graham are helping those guys out, get to the court, like figure out the defensive front that way to stop the run.
Yeah.
But there's no leadership past
in the middle of the field.
Nothing.
Yeah, there
or
isn't.
to the state, because by the time it gets to the safeties, the plays are being hiked. They don't know. They just look discombobulated, and that's why all that misdirection right now, whenever we play teams, bites us in the ass because the defensive front's like, okay, fine, whether it's a run or a pass, we'll level set, we got it to go. But if they call an audible with 5 seconds left, the linebackers aren't picking it up, and the safeties and secondary are like, well, what are we doing here?
Yeah.
And they got called all the time.
Yeah, what do you call it? Brian Baldinger was on the PHL Eagles podcast, and he basically said the communication in the secondary, his exact words, the communication in the secondary is atrocious.
It's bad.
And it just, to your point, they don't have anyone to kind of just get those guys together. You would think you have these 2 veteran corners, they would kind of do that, but they just haven't.
But even when you look at like teams that have historically had really good secondaries, that we have the personnel to have good secondary players plug and play. Like, yeah, Slay and Bradbury on any other team with a good safety up top would be dynamite to have. But you look at Seattle back in the day when they had the Legion of Boom. Cam Chancellor was a guy calling the shots.
Yeah.
He would lay that big hit. But most of the time, he wasn't really involved in every play, but he would get that secondary lined up to know what they were doing. Malcolm Jenkins, we didn't have the best safeties. He made Jalen Mills look like a top 10 fucking cornerback.
Yeah.
He wasn't that good, but he knew where to get guys in position.
Right.
There's nobody. You have a second-year player, Reed Blankenship. Shout out to him. No disrespect.
He's going to make the Pro Bowl.
For sure, and that's fine.
Whatever that's worth.
As a player,
Milk check.
but not as an actual facilitator of the defense.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're asking him to play his position and also call
he
out
got
other...
concussed in that game early.
But
No, I'm not coming at you. I'm just saying,
No.
like, yeah.
Yeah, and that sucked. But my point is that he's not going to tell Slay, hey, they're going to come up, whatever. He doesn't know how to do that. He's not a commander that way yet. I mean, second year in, he's not going to be that guy where you're missing that veteran piece. And Kevin Byard, who is the veteran as a safety, is playing too much nickel to even be able to call all that because he's still learning the playbook.
He's also looks slow, like just slow and can't tackle. He's just out of position a bunch.
And the NFC is pass happy.
Yeah.
Yeah. You mentioned they look slow, and it's like, yeah, they really did. I mean, there was one play, I remember, I forget exactly when this was in the game, but where they were very obviously doing a jet sweep. Because it was like it was
3rd and 8, and they ran the ball like 15 yards.
Like they lined up empty at first, and then you see guys sneaking back behind, and it's like, okay, like they're telling like
Turbin, cook
like
this.
if I can recognize what's going on, then like they should be able to recognize what's going on, and it's like, and he gets like, what do you get, like 15 yards out of that play or some shit? They're just like chasing him down, and it's like, how the fuck are they letting him get that many yards off of, like, everyone had to know what they were doing.
They got into the red zone. It was there were so many plays during that game where the defense had done such a great job first through up until 3rd down. And then once 3rd down came, they just, I don't know what happens. They just start.
Well,
to Trevor's point on that play with the jet sweep, you had Slay covering Turbin on the right side. They do the jet sweep, and instead of following the man, he's like, okay, yeah, you got him. But then you see Bradbury like, wait, I got. Or
that's the communication thing, yeah.
But like, it's just. It's frustrating to see.
Yeah, I think
it's so frustrating to watch this team play football, which is not what we expected coming into this year.
I think the other thing too, right? We've talked a lot about the secondary and the linebackers. We can talk about the pass rush too. The Eagles, I think they have 6 sacks on third and long all season. That's terrible. I forget where that places in the league. It's in the 20s. That's like last year we could rely on the defensive front, 3rd and long. They're just gonna what's the phrase called? I don't remember what the idiom is. They're just gonna go rush the quarterback. But this year they haven't really done that. They've tried. Josh Sweat said after the game that he's tired of all these fucking almosts because he keeps almost getting the sack, keeps almost getting the hit. and they just aren't getting there in the time that they need to. There were plenty of times in that game where a millisecond earlier and they hit Dak, or they at least, if they don't sack him, they pressure him enough where the throw's off. It happens so many times in that game where they're just not getting there in the time that they need to. And I think part of it is certainly that you have Hassan Reddick and Josh Sweat playing a lot more snaps than they need to. Part of it is just that Fletcher Cox is getting older. He's had a great game.
Yeah,
don't get it twisted.
Yeah.
I think that it goes
Brandon
hand in hand,
Graham's
though.
getting older. Like, these guys they aren't the players they used to be.
I think, though, it's not so much on the older veterans as it is, to your point, Trevor, where, like, the secondary, if a quarterback sees, like, they're getting it out because they're wide open. Almost every third down pass that they play, there's a wide open guy. It could be 20 yards down the field. They hit him. Like,
let's be honest. These guys were open last year with Jonathan Gannon playing his guys 10 yards off the line of scrimmage.
They were, but that half a second, though, matters. And, like, this year you're seeing that where, like, that little bit of hesitation of who's got him when they call hike, that fucks up the whole defense. And there's nobody out there that they respect. You had TJ Edwards could drop back, would do whatever. I mean, this defensive front is the same front, and you added if these.
Well, you lost Hargrave. You replaced Hargrave with Carter, which is kind of a wash.
It's an even up. It's no big deal.
But Brandon Graham's a year older.
But you have a healthier, but
Fletcher Cox a year older.
Yeah, but Jordan Davis, Fletcher Cox, and Brandon Graham were here all year last year.
Brandon Graham had a great year last year. He's not playing nearly as well this year.
Sure, but Jordan Davis wasn't here this time last year, and he's there healthy, and he can't get to the quarterback. He can stuff the run every 5 plays.
Yeah,
he's not. It's because the secondary in the middle of the field is giving up dump off valves.
They were giving them up last year.
Every team we play, but they weren't giving it up to the point where, like, they were actually catching the ball. Last year, they might have been open, but the defense was getting there because they gave them one more second. Where this defensive front, they're not quite getting to the court because they have people that are wide open and we're exposed. It's the same exact defense that they played last year, but they haven't adjusted or changed or done anything to actually make an impact.
So where do you think that fault lies? Is it with Desai?
Yeah, big time. I think it is. I think 100% it is.
So do we miss Jonathan Gannon?
No. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that.
You know what? I will say this is his fault. You know why? Because we could have had Vic Fangio.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, Vic Fangio got lit up by Will Levis the other night, but I would still much rather have Vic Fangio than Jonathan Gannon or an inexperienced D coordinator in Sean Desai.
I think that we all bought into Desai because, Seattle last year, no one respected Geno Smith. The defense was young. Like, no one's afraid of. It's not like the Seattle of old where, like, they had the Legion of Boom and a great run game and Russell Wilson. They gutted the whole team. So, like, people could pass happy. We're not going to run the ball in Seattle. We're just going to throw the ball because we're going to get guys that are open. And they had a lot more opportunity to hold the ball in the pocket, get some sacks, get some picks here and there. Great. That's good for them. But now you come to a team off of a Super Bowl run where people are giving you their best shot every week. And Desai's kind of getting exposed where you have the talent. You have way more talented defensive players than you did with Seattle. And you're either overthinking it, something is happening coaching-wise to the players.
Sometimes I don't think he's thinking enough.
I just think that it's a little bit of an issue. And I just think that the defense has the capability and the personnel to be a top 5 defense. They're just not put in, as Andy Reid would say, with my shirt on, aren't put in the best position to win the game. The defense, great. Third quarter, fourth quarter, and you talk about sacks on third down. Most of those sacks happen in the fourth quarter when it doesn't really matter to the other team. They're getting that
Hassan Reddick sack,
half these sacks they're getting in the third, fourth quarter. We're already down by 15, 12. Who gives a shit? Of course we're going to throw the ball. Fuck it. Why are you going to run the ball? So that's a defensive end of the ball. Offense.
Well, hold up. Why was Keely Ringo on the field?
That guy's ass.
Sunday Night Football against CeeDee Lamb against the Cowboys, one of the best quarterbacks in the league, one of the best receivers in the league, and he had only played 1 snap on defense all season.
Yep.
Why was he out there?
I think it's just a throw in the kitchen sink type of thing,
Yeah.
Trying something.
That's what I'm saying, man. Sometimes I think Desai is...
He had that sequence that I don't think I've ever seen before.
Dude, how do you get called for a pass interference a face mask and give up the completion.
And he still got
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
Like, if you're going to commit 2 penalties,
You make
that
it
guy
count.
damn sure better not catch the ball.
Yeah.
You got a
That's just
rookie.
wild.
You got a rookie on AJ Brown. Is essentially what they're doing.
Yeah, that's just bad. So, like, I think sometimes Desai is overthinking. In that case, he wasn't thinking enough. You can't put this guy. Sure, he went to Georgia. He's played in big games in his collegiate career. This is a whole different beast. You can't ask him to cover the second or third leading receiver in the league on Sunday Night Football, your biggest game of the season. What the hell are you thinking? You're not thinking.
Also, there's other teams in the SEC besides Georgia.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Like
that's
I love the
how he's
Georgia.
going to have to start drafting some LSU guys
Well,
now.
wait till he learns what Alabama. Like, you know, hello, you got a what's it called, Heisman winner in Devontae Smith. I love that, but like we can get away from Georgia. Like Georgia's great, no disrespect, but like, damn man, like just because you discovered the SEC 4 years ago doesn't mean that we have to only go to Georgia.
Yeah.
I don't want to see any more of these like Philly Bulldog. Fuck that shit. Yeah, great, you went to Georgia, good for you. At the same time, no one's. If anyone knows football, they know that the best players come from the SEC. We got to move on a little bit
Yeah.
here. It's brutal, and they're biting in the ass. They're like, "Oh, we got Jalen Ringo as a fucking great pickup for nothing like that." Come on now.
Yeah, I think our hit percentage is pretty low. I mean, you figure Ringo and Dean. We can't call Ringo a bust after his first game.
Yeah, I
but
think I give him a little bit of a
Dean
leash here,
not
but-
looking great.
Yeah.
Nolan Smith, my boy, hasn't been great. Really, Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter have been our 2 hits. The
Yeah.
other 3 haven't been great. That's 40%. I mean, in the NFL draft, that's probably okay, but there are other schools out there you could increase your hit percentage if you go to LSU, you go to Ole Miss, you know what I'm saying?
Bama.
Clemson.
I mean, yeah.
There's so many other good schools in the SEC alone, let alone in college football. Like
Well,
Ohio
don't give-
State and
don't
Michigan
give-
produce plenty of
Yeah.
good players. When's the last time we drafted someone from Ohio State?
I don't know.
Couldn't tell. Nothing
No
in the
idea,
modern
right?
nothing
You
in the
know what I'm
modern era.
saying? It's
No modern era.
how he's got to start realizing other conferences in college exist next.
But I will say one last thing though before we go, just on offensively stand of the ball though.
I got some offense too. I got notes.
Just right quick, running back screens. It's not like I feel like this offense is everyone in the locker room. AJ Brown made it aware that yes, they're playing a very basic wide receiver route. Also, it's not basic, but if you
was
saw
that
that,
AJ Brown that was
Yeah.
talking?
yeah, if
How
you
do
saw
you know
that,
that?
if you saw that the wide receiver pattern of the
I
team,
saw that.
you would have
yeah.
thought my nephew drew that shit for like art day. That was like what route? There's no cuts.
Oh, yeah. It's
It
all in
was
the perimeter.
just squiggly line. But no, it was just like
Yeah.
squiggly.
There's no in routes. There's no out
There's
routes.
not even a cut.
Yeah.
There's no hard angles.
Yeah.
Nothing. So like how you gonna get separation? And when you got Hurts out there trying to throw the ball, he can't do anything. But I will say from an efficiency standpoint, Eagles 4th in the NFL in success rate in a running back screen.
How many running back screens have
But
they
yet
run?
they're 28th in usage.
Exactly.
7th
That's a problem.
in slants routes, but they're 22nd in usage. And when you come to curl routes, we're number 1 in the league in running curl routes, which is mostly A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith coming out the first down, boom, coming back out for a curl route. 28th in usage again. So why we could knock on Desai all we want for defense, but Brian Johnson, I will say, with this offense, you have one of the most explosive offenses that you're just crippling in the amount of plays that you use for what we're good at.
Yeah. I mean, when it comes to the defense, you can talk about there's definitely issues with personnel. The offense, like, you have the players.
Right.
Yeah.
There's no excuses here. Like, this should be a top 5 offense.
Well, the problem is, right, and this is something I pulled up a quote from Tim McManus at ESPN. He had this article he wrote about things that they need to fix. Scheming players open's a big thing for them. They just kind of rely on their talent to win. His quote is, scheming players open instead of relying on their top talent to win one-on-ones is one area to look at. Brown and Smith are 2 of the best receivers in the league, yet the average distance between Hurts' targets and the nearest defender is 3.24 yards. Seems like a decent amount of yards, right? Ranks 28th. And Hurts is 25th in wide open throw percentage, 20%, or when the nearest defender is 5 yards plus away. So they aren't really scheming guys open. They're just, hey, just go run down the field, run 4 verts. We'll hit you halfway through the vert and make a couple guys miss. Right?
Yeah.
There's no ingenuity with this offense. There isn't any creativity as far as the routes. It's
It's definitely, yeah. I mean, it's definitely, that's part of it. But I also think Jalen has a little bit of blame here.
Oh, for sure. He's
Big
not
time.
blameless.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think he's forcing throws downfield. Doesn't
He's
look for
pressing,
checkdowns
dude.
ever. I mean, like,
He's
there's
definitely pressing.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, especially. I mean, I think especially, you know, after that, because it was him who fumbled the ball in the first drive.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I think like after that,
in the red
kind of-
zone.
Yeah, and it's kind of like, I mean, it almost felt like he was like kind of chasing his losses the whole game, like trying to hit those big plays. And like, granted, there was that one that like
Two. It was two.
AJ Brown should have caught.
It was two.
So like, it was
Devontae
like
had
And
that
Devontae
one he
Smith
should have
was
caught.
three.
Yeah.
Yeah.
perfect throws. But it's like there were definitely a few opportunities where it's like you had I don't know, like Jack Stoll like in the flat could have been like an easy first down pickup.
Well,
And it's like he just doesn't want to throw them.
He doesn't want to get first downs.
well, here's
which-
the situation with that, right? Is I think it was Sirianni said the ball was going where it was supposed to go. Was that Sirianni? Yeah. Him and Brian Johnson both said this shit, right? So here's Sirianni. This is going to be a long quote because we know how Sirianni can be. He just gets wound up and winded. So our passing game runs through three guys. That doesn't mean we don't want the ball. Don't want to get the ball to some other guys here and there, but the main passing game goes through those guys. The Cowboys and the style of defense they run, which is obviously a very good defense, allows you to kind of get to the ball to where we were going with it. That's where the ball was designed to go. It has nothing to do with anything else. We wanted to get AJ going. We wanted to get Devontae and Dallas the ball. Every plan is thought of through that. I've said that from the very beginning. That was our plan in that game, and obviously we didn't win the game. We didn't play well enough on offense. We didn't coach well enough on offense. That was by design to throw those guys the football, and that's why the football went there. That's problematic.
You know what I hear, though, when Nick Sirianni this year says the offense runs through three guys? This season, when the offense runs through three guys, it goes through Kelsey, Hurts, and whoever can catch the ball. It's not Devontae, A.J. Brown, and Dallas Goedert. It's the center and Kelsey, the quarterback and Hurts. That's
Do you
two.
think it's even more one-track minded than three guys? It's just,
That's how they're playing. They're not playing like they're actually like there's no weapon. If Devontae gets 99 yards, you know AJ Brown has less than 45. If AJ Brown has 125 yards, you know Devontae has less than 75. Like there's no explosive.
They don't spread the ball
Last
around.
year we had two 1,000-yard receivers and a 500-yard receiving tight end who was hurt for
who
5-6
missed a bunch of
games. So
right, yeah.
and a 1,000-yard rusher and an 800-yard rushing quarterback with 10, 15 touchdowns. Like, okay. That's my point, and I think that I'm done my piece on the Eagles with this, is that, like, I'm done the fucking quotes of the team. I'm over the fucking coach giving us these, well, you got to water the seed, they grow the roots. I'm over the fucking MJ I'm over the MJ quotes when you haven't really done shit. I'm not gonna lie. I'm kind of over Hurts with this whole fucking prophetic bullshit, like you're some 25-year-old know-it-all. I'm over it, man. You haven't done shit. You didn't win MVP. You have no hardware to your fucking name. You barely won a championship in college because you lost that job to a fucking backup quarterback again. Honestly, I'm over this fucking shit. Prove your fucking worth. Do something then. You fumble the ball every fucking time when it means something. I'm over it.
Yeah,
I don't want to.
I would say definitely like the like sort of like cliche Hurts quotes are like fine when they're winning, but like if they keep playing like this and keep losing, like that shit's gonna wear thin real fast.
That's what I was saying last week.
It already is old.
The cliches are starting to get
It's
tired.
gone.
Yeah,
it's over.
yeah.
You lost. I'm out. You got to get someone to call his ass right now. Tell him he's a fucking bitch. Can't play quarterback. He's too afraid. I don't care that the brace is off. You run like a fucking pussy. You throw like a bitch. You're making plays that make no sense, and you're fumbling the ball in crucial moments in the red zone. Fuck that shit. You want to be Michael Jordan and all this shit, whatever, all calm and cool collective, whatever. Fuck that shit. You're a fucking bum. Right? You're playing like a fucking bum.
Damn, tell us how you really.
That's how he is, honestly.
That was epic. We'll have to clip that one, man. That was a great rant.
Mark it down right now. Prove me wrong, Hurts. Prove me wrong. Get us to the promised land this season. Get us to the number 1 seed. Then I'll take my words back. But right now, you're playing like fucking shit. He's ass.
I wouldn't go so far as to say he's ass.
He is ass. Right now, he's ass. In games that matter, he's ass.
Yeah, I think he won us the Buffalo game 3 weeks ago. You're taking it too far. I think.
Fuck that shit. Mm-mm.
He hasn't been good. I will give you that. But
he's been playing like shit.
Would you rather Jalen Hurts or Josh Dobbs?
He didn't score a fucking touchdown last game.
Jalen
Not
Hurts
a
or
single
Nick Mullins?
touchdown.
Dude,
Jalen Hurts.
I hear you.
Nope.
I hear you. He did not play well, but to say he's ass and he's a bitch, I think is taking it
I
too
said
far.
he's ass right now.
You said he's a bitch.
Yeah, he is. He's playing like a bitch. I don't know why he's scared. Nothing happened. I don't know if he had a weird nightmare or whatnot. He's playing like a bitch right now.
Yeah, I just think he's pressing too much. I think the offense is pressing too much. Why do you think Devontae fumbled? Why do you think AJ fumbled? They're trying to do too much instead of just taking the yards that they got, going down and living to see the next play. They're just
Playing like a bitch.
the team's struggling, so the guys that are your stars that you're feeding the ball to are trying to do too much. Instead of, I'm all for feeding your best players the ball. At the same time, you have guys in the locker room saying the offense has gotten too predictable. I wonder why. You have three guys running the same 3 or 4 routes over and over, and every defense watches film. Every defense knows that these 3 guys are going to be the same 3 guys running the same routes. Stephon Gilmore, a veteran corner, a borderline Hall of Fame corner, knew our routes before the receivers were even running them half the time.
Maybe don't call him old before the game. That would do a lot.
That didn't help, but still, I mean, you have to have more ingenuity and more creativity. Not saying that Hurts is playing good, because he isn't, but they're not helping him. I mean, I kind of feel like that's where a lot of the problem lies.
Yeah. Well,
I've said my piece.
What else do I got? A couple more things.
we're kind of going long on the Eagles. Which
Hey,
probably
well,
gets a,
I don't care. They deserve the vitriol today.
Yeah.
Yeah, pour me one. But, so a couple other things, right? Some random notes. First of all, what was up with them at the end of the first half in that game? They had a timeout left, and they were at like their 40, and they just run the clock out.
Oh yeah, that was
That
weird.
pissed me off
Very
so
odd.
much. I knew
Take
the
a
game.
shot.
I was so angry.
Well, they started moving the ball for the first time, and
Yeah,
the whole half.
You have 15, 20 seconds left at your 40, and you decide to run the clock out?
you get the ball back.
No, they got the...
No, we got the
we
ball
got
back.
the ball back.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you had an opportunity
At least get 3.
to
Here,
double
at least
up
get 3,
on
yeah.
3
Yeah.
points and another touchdown, and that's what you do?
Because they're
Yeah.
all
This
playing.
coaching is just...
I mean, you got Jake Elliott. Like, if you get
their
within like a
kicker's kicking
65
60-yard boots.
Yeah,
It's a
we could do that.
dome. Jake Elliott can.
They're playing scared. They're playing a bunch of bitches right now. I'm telling
Everyone's
you.
playing scared, except this is one of my other notes. That fake punt was pretty cool.
Oh, that shit was sick.
It
Yeah.
sucks
Brandon
that they
Mann, dude.
wasted it on such a poor game.
I know.
Yeah, but that was a great first down.
That was awesome, dude. Like,
Yeah.
special teams is coming up with these really cool, unique plays, but the offensive and defense
Fuck
coaching
that.
just...
I feel like I'm in the David Fitt era. We're like, great. We had the top 5 special teams, but
So
like,
I'm going to get to that
the
next.
team-
That's my next point.
we don't have to bury this hatchet here. I'm just saying that
I
this-
got all these notes I got to get to.
this team is playing a frustrated way of football.
So here's what I'm going to say. I was having flashbacks to 2014. Chip Kelly's second to last year, not his last year.
The
his
middle
second
year.
to last year, where they got to 10 wins and then they just tanked and went 1-3 in embarrassing fashion. I was having flashbacks to that watching this game. Offense is very collegey, much like Chip Kelly. So they ran 3 or 4 plays and just ran hurry up and hoped that the speed was going to beat you. This offense isn't running hurry up, but we already touched on. The receivers run 3 or 4 different routes. They have about 2 different passing concepts. They have about 2 or 3 different run concepts. Very collegey offense. That defense was gassed. This defense is probably gassed.
Big time.
That defense, because it was gassed, couldn't get off the field. This defense can't get off the field. Can't force a turnover. We're -4.
Yeah.
And turnover differential, 22nd in the league.
Well, that doesn't help because the offense is also playing very poor.
Yeah,
too.
but the offense is turning the ball over a ton. But yeah, all of this is just giving me flashbacks to that 2014 team. They went down to Dallas on Thanksgiving, won their 10th game, went 1-3 after that and missed the playoffs. That's kind of what I'm seeing is happening here. I hope I'm wrong, but I don't really have much confidence in them to get this right.
We'll know on Monday. Monday will be a big piece right there. If they come out
Yeah.
Monday and fall flat on their face, this team is going to be lucky to be a wild card team, and we'll see what happens. But if
Yep.
they come out Monday, prove their worth, then we'll see. But I think
You got a
I'm not
score
thinking my prediction. I think it's going to be 27-24 Birds.
I got 34-31 Eagles in spite of just what I said, because Seattle's lost 4 in a row. They look pretty bad. Granted, DK Metcalf still looks like a beast, but the rest of that team just isn't really that good. Their offensive line's trash. Their running backs are so-so. And regardless if it's Drew Lock or Geno Smith starting. Neither of them is as good as any of the quarterbacks we faced the last 5 weeks. I think we should be able to beat them. I think they're going to put up points, but I think we put up points too.
I think 27-24 is safe. This offense hasn't given me any signs of life. They didn't score a single touchdown in the last, what?
Played a couple really good defenses. Seattle's
I understand,
defense isn't
but
that
it wasn't
good.
about that. It was about just red zone efficiency. We're ass at. We're also 61% giving up, 68%.
That's why I have them scoring 31 points.
Yeah, but I think that this offense hasn't shown me anything that I feel confident in. And I knew, I felt we could lose to San Fran. Optimistic about Dallas, whatever. This offense really has to show up big time here. But I still only give them 27-24. That's it.
Trevor, what you got?
I think there's going to be a lot of scoring. I think this Seattle defense is not anything to write home about. Kind of do we know if Geno's playing or not?
I would say it's likely. He warmed up last week.
Yeah.
I think he's still technically questionable, but I would say it's likely he plays.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go 31-27 Eagles. I think they just barely cover the line there. It's -3.5.
Okay.
Birds right now.
Yeah, I mean, they haven't blown anyone out all year. I don't expect them to blow out a halfway decent Seattle team.
I think Seattle's going to score, but I think we're going to score a little more than that.
I think Tommy DeVito probably beats us next week, but that's a different story.
Well, I think to end the Eagles rant that we should do this last shot real quick.
Let's get the hell off this.
Yeah.
To the whiskey that tastes better than the Eagles do right now.
All right.
That is tasty.
So what do you want to go to next year?
Let's hit the Phillies real quick.
Phils. Yeah.
Well, we're not getting Ohtani.
Yeah, we got to talk about that.
The dream's over.
Yeah,
Dude,
damn.
10 years, $700 million.
And the deferral
The
thing.
deferral is ridiculous.
That should not be allowed.
No.
It's absurd.
That's wild.
It's like a
That's a great move by him, though, we'll say.
well, yeah, sure.
It's a great move by him. It's a great move by the Dodgers.
They can still sign somebody, I guess, because they're not really... That money's
They're
also...
paying him
what,
$2
$2
million
million
a year. Ridiculous. The
Insane.
best player of all time, and he's getting paid $2 million a year.
So, yeah, but that's smart. See, now, but though, that's, he's got some good money.
Well, I mean, he's got all this endorsement money coming in, and he'll be fine until he retires. And after he retires, he's getting paid $68 million every year.
I don't hate that. That's a good... Yeah, fuck
Good
yeah.
for him.
Easy.
Yeah.
Good for him.
But-
he deserves it.
Yeah, I mean, jokes on LA if he comes back and can't really pitch at all.
That's still very much up in the air too.
Yeah.
I mean, that is the
This
thing.
is what, his second Tommy John or his third? You're going to run out of ligaments to put in that elbow.
Well, they're banking off him being able to hit, just home runs. I mean, his stats, too, in Dodger Stadium
They'll receive a bump, especially
the
with
last
that-
2
in that
years were
lineup.
phenomenal.
In that lineup, too, man, he's got all this protection.
And they're not done yet, apparently. I mean, they're still shopping out. You got Mookie Betts. You got him out there. You got fucking... I mean, hey, it's...
Yeah, they just made a trade for they got Tyler Glasnow.
Yeah.
Oh, they did? I've seen that floating around
Yeah,
on Twitter.
I think that went through.
So, well, we didn't think we were going to get him anyway.
Yeah, whatever. Fuck the Dodgers.
I mean, they're
But
still
speaking of
going to win 110 games and lose
and
in
lose
the
to the
NLDS.
Diamondbacks and
But speaking of Japan, now we're talking about...
Yoshinobu Yamamoto.
Exactly.
Yeah, he was
He's
visiting with the Phillies
meeting
today.
with Phillies
in LA.
today with a select few of Philadelphia representatives. They didn't say who. They just said Philadelphia Phillies representatives.
Yeah, it was
Who do you think is there?
The Fanatic.
the Swiss cheese pervert.
Yeah, the Fanatic.
The,
Probably Ed Rendell probably went over there for a little bit.
Yeah.
Who else is probably there?
The rotisserie chicken guy.
Yeah, the chicken guy for sure.
The Galapagos gang. You got to have them
yeah,
there. The Philly
Galapagos
Fanatics
gang.
probably on vacation.
They
but-
probably broke out that guy from prison again to go see him real quick.
Yeah, they wheeled in the
Danilo.
Yeah.
Danilo
they
sitting
got
in
in there.
Yeah.
Yo, Meek Mill probably
Mill
went.
definitely in a
Yeah,
helicopter.
they wheeled in
Yeah.
the Rizzo statue.
Yes.
And
Who's a famous Japanese Philadelphian? We had to send someone there to represent.
I don't know if there's any famous ones.
Specifically Japanese. I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm coming up empty
That's
there.
a tough one right there.
Well,
Not yet. Well, not yet. That's
probably
why we got to have him.
Yeah, we know a famous Japanese Philadelphian. He just couldn't make it to the occasion.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll introduce you.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe they signed So Taguchi for a day. We're like, yo, come with us, man.
Yeah.
I think that it gets, unless Ohtani made his deal around that so they can sign his, the other guy for a big
Certainly possible.
It could
paycheck,
happen.
maybe.
But he would have just signed with them. The fact that he didn't just sign with them means that maybe
You got to enjoy this
they
shit.
didn't, or maybe he wasn't convinced.
Or you just enjoy the ride and get to go bop around to other cities and hang out for a little bit and let people cater to your needs and all this shit. That kind of rocks.
My understanding is that the Mets and the Yankees are his two top choices, which maybe he's an
the
East
Yankees
Coast
just
guy.
got Soto. They just got Soto the other day, which again doesn't matter because their pitching core is ass. So
Soto's going to hit like 1 million home runs in that ballpark, though.
definitely, but like the team, I mean, arguably didn't really do a whole lot last year. So whatever. I mean, if they get him, it's a big
same
piece.
for the Mets.
Yeah, exactly.
Supposed to be
But
good.
yeah, my point being...
I mean, if you're gonna go to New York, you go to the Yankees.
My
Fuck the
point
Mets.
being is that if he's looking New York, he's not a West Coast only guy like Ohtani.
True.
Maybe he does like Philadelphia enough to come here.
But do you think he's seen those pictures of Mrs. Met?
Oh hell yeah.
They probably showed them to him.
Yeah, but little did we know, deep cut, his parents also have an alligator farm.
Yamamoto's?
No, I'm kidding. I don't know. I'm saying, wait, that'd be so crazy. He's like, damn, I fucking love alligators. And then
Then
like,
he
bang.
might sign with the Marlins. He could have an alligator farm. Could you imagine if he went to the Marlins?
No, he came to the Phillies because he had a fucking pet. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah. Well, they didn't let him into the Phillies.
right. Yeah.
They let him into the Farg, but not CBP.
Yeah, but the potential's there.
Yeah, they'll set up a
Maybe that's the
little
Philadelphia representative.
Dude, they'll turn that thing into Ashburn Alley where the kids can play baseball. They'll turn that into the alligator pen.
If they could put
Yeah.
a
They'll put a little fresh water in there.
Mm-hmm.
Throw some shrimp in there so the alligators
He'll
can
get
eat.
big. He'll get nice and big too.
Yeah. Alligators will be living it up, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, that would be funny as hell if there was just an alligator pen.
I would love that.
Yeah, there probably is in Florida.
I mean, South Philly used to just be a fucking pig den, a swamp. So it was a swamp, which, hello,
That's why it always gets so muggy here in the summertime.
gators love swamps. So does,
Yamamoto.
yeah.
Yeah, you can't even say his
I
name.
kind of lost the thread here.
But anyway, getting back to the Phillies, man. So yeah, the Dodgers are still going to lose, and we won't get to play them in the playoffs, whatever. But I guess the thing about Yamamoto is we'll probably figure out soon who he's going to sign with. It feels like this offseason is certainly moving very quickly compared to past off seasons. Feel like a lot of the moves are being made.
Now that the Ohtani deal's done, I feel like the rest of the dominoes are going to start falling,
We're not going to touch that money, but we also called he would stay on the West Coast. We all pretty much figured that. Yeah, he wasn't going to come out to the East Coast at all. So, I mean, our best bet is Yamamoto, the pitcher. We'll see what happens there. Soto's gone. Bryce Harper.
Yeah, so hold on. Bryce Harper. We had him say the open for the game Sunday, the Eagles-Cowboys game.
Oh,
yeah, with his
I knew as soon as that happened, we were losing. It's like, yeah, that's bad. That's
I saw
bad
that shit. I was
juju,
so
dude.
confused. I was like, what the? He's like, I grew up a Dallas fan, but now I'm an Eagles fan. I'm like, I don't like this here.
Yeah, that was bad
I
juju
don't
from
like
the
that.
start.
Made no sense.
You can't have the guy that's never won a World Series, has lost 2 times in the NLCS in the last 2 years, won an MVP this season. He didn't make the playoffs. You can't have him doing the open and expect to win. You might as well have Joel Embiid there for the coin toss. God damn, I was so furious. I knew we were going to lose that game as soon as Bryce Harper's given that speech.
Also,
No.
like, you can't have not for nothing, but like, you can't have a baseball player gas you up for a football game. Like, that's just.
You can have it the
Nah,
reverse.
That shit was, yeah, definitely. If you have Beat Dog get you up for the fucking NLDS or NLCS,
That
hell
works,
yeah.
yeah.
I
But
mean,
a baseball
if
player,
it was anyone from like the 08 team, we probably would have been hyped.
I don't think so. I mean, they just don't talk the same way. Like, even unless it was maybe Chase Utley after he won the World Series, I was like,
He's all
yeah, we
drunk and
fucking
liquored
won.
up. Yep,
yeah, that
yeah.
shit was sick. But like, to be honest, baseball players don't really have that swag like that where they can get you all riled up for shit.
And Harper's one of the swaggiest players in the league, but it still doesn't track the same way.
He's swaggy as an active person. Like, when he's playing the game, he's playing with swag. But when he talks a little bit, you lose that luster to like pump you up.
Yeah,
Like,
it's not like Jason Kelsey.
I don't want his voice in a pump up video. I want B-Dog even Bradley Cooper, honestly.
Yeah.
Anybody else, but
Dude, give me Allen Iverson.
yeah, honestly,
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
you know, give me Andre Iguodala. I don't give a shit.
When you said Bradley Cooper, for some reason my mind went to Riley Cooper. I was like, what?
Whoa, no.
I don't know about that.
Hey, Cowboys, I'm gonna kill every last one of
Give me Riley
I'm
Cooper.
afraid every.
Yeah, give me Riley Cooper at a country. No.
No.
I'm saying,
I was watching. I think it was
didn't
I think like the past week or whatever was like the 10th anniversary of like that snow game against the Lions.
Oh, that was
Hell
so
yeah,
cool.
that
And
was
there was
awesome.
like there was like multiple highlights in there of like, and it's complete to Riley Cooper. It's just
Yo,
like,
he was good that year.
dude,
killed
yeah.
it. He had that.
He was like
he did
the-
have
yeah,
that
he
touchdown
was
catch show in the end zone.
in the Foles year, he was
Yeah.
sick, but
I threw snowballs.
fortunately a little racist.
Yeah,
Just
was
a
a-
little.
there was a touchdown pass in that game in the end zone, and I threw snowballs right at the players for Detroit, which is pretty sick. I love that shit during the play. I love that
Yeah,
game.
that was such an awesome game.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun.
They were like, "Don't throw snowballs." My Uncle Pat was sitting next to me, like Elf, just fucking. Here you go, Pat. I'm like, hell yeah. I was just winging it, shit. Boom. And then as soon as halftime hit, I was just decking guys. Boom, 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 boom. They had security down there, like, "Don't throw snowballs, please." And someone made like a giant ball of snow and just shot put it in, and it hit the security guard. He got knocked over. I love this city.
Oh man.
It'd be so funny if there's someone showed up dressed as Santa Claus. He was like, "Oh no, this is the worst day to
Please,
do
no,
this."
dear God. But anyway, yeah, baseball players,
Yeah.
don't try to pump up football games because that shit, I didn't like that at all. I was just confused, and then I was like, "Is this?"
It just lacked the
It
energy.
just did not hit. He was like, "I grew up a Dallas fan." I'm like, "Well, you lost me right now." He's like, "But now I live in Philly and I love Philadelphia." I'm like, It don't work that way. It don't work that way at all for this game. And then, like your point, Avery, it just threw the whole game off.
Yeah.
It was like watching Sirianni cry. Game's
Yeah.
over.
Yep.
It's over before kickoff.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, Bryce Harper. So we kind of touched on this last week, but I don't think I knew enough about it, and we certainly didn't go as in depth as we probably could have on this whole extension that he's asking for. I think the Ohtani deal probably makes him want it even more. Like the
Yeah.
Ohtani deal sets a really bad precedent, not only for like the competitive balance in baseball, but it also sets a bad precedent for star player. Not even bad, but it sets the precedent for other star players to be like, yeah, extend me and defer the money. Extend me, give me
No,
more money.
but-
he's getting $700 million a year. He might never even pitch again.
Yeah, but it's not an extension. It's a new deal. That's what's fucked up. Where
But-
I think that Bryce Harper trying to get an extension on a 13-year, $340 million deal is a little fucked up, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, like I said last week, in from the standpoint that inflation has kind of made him go from like the highest paid player to the 8th, I can see why he's a little like, yeah, I would like a little bit more money. Let's be honest, like you're not going to agree with this, Trevor, you might. He's underpaid for the value and the amount of things he does for the team and for the
Yeah,
city.
sure. Just purely mathematical wise, yeah.
And to be fair, I think by the end of this contract, he's not going to be worth 30-some, 40-some million a
No.
year. Certainly not. But the way he looks at it right now, he's probably like, yeah, I'm playing above the contract that I've earned, and I'd like to be compensated fairly for that.
Yeah. Yeah, whatever. I mean, I don't know. As a fan, it's like I don't really care either way. It's like if the Phillies want to give him some more money, it's not my money.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't-
MLB doesn't have a salary cap,
Exactly. Like I don't care.
so it doesn't really hinder the team too much if they do that.
If Middleton wants to open up his pocketbook for him, then fine.
Yeah, but you can't be like a team player guy and then ask for more money when you're the highest paid player on the team. It makes no sense to me. And did he make the All-Star team last year? No.
No, I
He
guess
did not.
Yeah.
Exactly. Did he make it the year before?
I mean,
For sure. MVP,
he didn't make
yeah.
it last year because he was coming off
Yeah, he
Tommy
wasn't,
John
like-
surgery.
Sure.
You can't hold that
What was
against
me?
him.
Fucking, let's get the guy a fucking Band-Aid then. Oh,
Here we go.
My only point.
You just
my-
diminishing the
my-
impact of injuries.
my-
the
my-
guy had to have the biggest ligament in his
Sure.
elbow replaced, and
Last
you're
year-
calling him a baby?
My point though is that this, you got at the time a great deal. Didn't complain about it. Now that some other guy who is a guy that's compared to Babe Ruth most of the time in
But
conversations.
that guy that might not even pitch again.
It doesn't. My point though is that he earned that contract. Doesn't mean that I should earn this shit too. You really haven't done anything since you made your contract, except for being MVP and not winning a World Series.
Except for being MVP.
That's all I'm saying.
And hitting the biggest home run in Philadelphia Phillies history.
Yeah, but he did that though on that
Miss me with
contract.
that.
He did that. No, he did that on the contract year. I get that. But then last year,
What do you mean he didn't do anything last year? He rushed back from Tommy John surgery in 180 days.
And he missed that home run that would have put us in the World
probably
Series.
made back that entire contract with jersey sales alone by now. I mean,
the point though is that, but then you want to restructure it again for what are you going to? What could you possibly do better than you did the year before you made the contract? What?
Hey man,
you're gonna win MVP again and then win us a World Series? Probably not.
How are you gonna say probably not? You
because
don't know
money.
that.
What you think money's gonna make him play better? That makes no sense to me.
It's not gonna make him play better, but that's not to say
that's
that
what he's saying.
He may not earn.
That's what you were saying.
No, it isn't.
You were saying that because he saw Ohtani get this big contract, he's like, you know what? I'm doing more for my team. I should get more money.
No, he's not saying he's doing more, but he's saying he's seeing these guys getting these big time deals.
Yeah, younger guys playing at a high level.
He signed this deal.
Signed this. Take a deep breath, real quick. Hold on now.
No, because I was going to say what has Ohtani done, but I shouldn't say that. Then I'll sound like an idiot. But at the same time, inflation is a motherfucker, man.
It's not impacting Bryce fucking Harper. Inflation is not impacting anyone that we're talking about right now.
Not in the way that he can't spend money. You know what I'm saying?
No. Time out. No. Inflation is not impacting anybody that's signing a contract that's worth $350 million a year plus.
So
it's
Trey Turner's getting paid more money per year than Bryce Harper, who's a better player. Bryce Harper.
The game's a game, baby. I ain't here to fucking. I'm not a fucking GM to divvy up that.
All I'm saying is this is where he's coming from and why he feels like he deserves a contract.
Well, then become an all-star. Then won't be negotiating.
He couldn't become an all-star when he missed the first month and a half of the season. But
then we're not renegotiating.
All that aside, I thought last week I misspoke when I said I thought that the Phillies could kind of restructure a deal. Restructuring contracts in baseball doesn't happen because all the contracts are guaranteed. I'm thinking of the NFL. I'm getting things all tripped up.
This ain't Howie Roseman out here. This is just straight money.
The only time it happens is if it's to the benefit of the team, which I don't know if restructuring is to the benefit of the team. I did read some article. I didn't bookmark it. That said that restructuring or extending Harper and spreading his money out over more years could benefit the Phillies more in the long run in that they'll have less money committed to him later in this contract, which, I'm all for that. When he's older, he doesn't deserve $30-some million a year. So there is a chance that they do it for that reason, not to benefit him so much as to benefit the team's future. Ultimately, where I land is that I probably wouldn't want to extend him. He's already signed through his age 38 season in 2033. What the hell is the world going to look like? Are we even going to be here?
Lawyer.
No one knows what the hell's going to be happening.
They also have
and you aren't going to be able to, you aren't going to want Harper, 40 years old, DHing probably. It'll be like Ryan Howard all over again.
Well, they don't
have
any.
Howard's last years.
They don't have any Howie Roseman in the Philly organization that can, renegotiate stuff and make it work for the team to, okay, fine, it's good for you and for us. It's either good for you or we're fucked.
Yeah.
There's no in baseball to
Dave Dombrowski's kind of that guy, but he's going to retire by 2033. He's old.
He's good for open up the purse and buying guys out. Okay, yeah, come here. There's no negotiation that way at all in baseball, which is fine.
It doesn't happen the same way. It's a different sport. There's no salary cap, so that's a big deal.
We gave you the big deal. Things happen.
Yeah. So when it comes to baseball, I really just don't care about it. If they're willing to pay him.
You say that now, but in 2035, if Harper's 40, hitting 170, can't
to my
DH,
point, don't restructure his contract.
You're gonna care.
You got him for 13 years.
Trevor, you can't sit here and say you didn't care.
Trevor, I think
you didn't like watching Ryan Howard struggle through his last few years of his contract. I know you didn't.
I think
probably got receipts.
I think Trevor's on my side right now. I'm not gonna lie.
Trevor isn't taking a side.
He's on my side for
he's
sure.
He's straddling the fence. It's not his money. He doesn't care.
But he's not going to.
He claims he doesn't care. I think he cares.
He's not going to restructure. You lock him in for 13 years for $350. Bang, you got his ass.
Yeah,
boom, you're good to go.
I just said, I don't want to extend him either. I think
but you were.
I don't think we need to.
No, I don't want to, but I can see why he wants one. You know what I'm saying? That's two different things.
I hear
That's
you.
two different things.
But as a team, you understand why you should not do that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to watch Bryce Harper when he's 40, making
right, so
$40
we
million a
agree.
year, hamstringing our team.
Okay.
And Trevor's saying he doesn't care. I think he does.
I think you have to care.
Because when Ryan Howard in 2016 was extremely ass,
Yeah.
it was cool to see him hit a dinger every now and again, but he was just weighing that team down, dude, playing first base every day, being all ass. You didn't like that. You can't even sit here and say you did. I don't think you did.
Yeah.
Tearing that Achilles right down the first base line.
Oh, man. We've talked about that before. All right, I guess that'll do it for the Phillies talk. We don't really have a whole lot else. We'll see if they get Yamamoto. Probably not.
Mm-mm.
If they do, cool. We'll have a famous Japanese Philadelphian once again.
From one coast to the other. No, I'm kidding.
So
What's next?
what do we got?
Well, we got the Flyers right now.
Yeah, let's talk about the Fly guys, baby. Let's talk about the orange and black, baby.
Yeah.
Konechny. I don't ever want to listen, and I'm not here. I will say I'm a bandwagon fan this year because I didn't really care about it for the last couple
Hey,
years.
this is the year to be a bandwagon.
Yeah,
Get on the wagon,
but
dude.
I will say
Yeehaw.
I'm on the wagon. All I'm going to say is that Konechny, 26 years old.
Did anyone check what's going on in the game?
They were losing 2-1 last I checked.
really?
The
Anyway,
score is...
don't.
3-3.
Oh,
Ooh.
okay.
At the end of the third period, going to OT.
Now we're
At
talking.
least salvaged a point against the Caps. The Caps have been playing good.
Yeah, there you go, man.
At least they've been winning games. They haven't been playing great. The metrics, their underlying metrics aren't good. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Pat. I keep cutting you off.
All I was just saying was that I don't know a whole lot about hockey, and I'll admit that. It's not my bread and butter. But I will say, for the production that we're getting from Konechny at 26 years old, if we're in a rebuilding year, I don't think we should trade his ass. I think we should keep him.
I agree 110%.
Especially because if they're like, if they were, if the season had gone how people thought it was going to go, and we were just like, I don't know, like bottom of the league, then yeah, sure, like trade him, get a couple, get like 2 first-round picks or whatever the fuck. But he's playing at an all-star level. We're winning games. We're at this point, like I think it's pretty clear we're not getting a top 10, top 5
Hell
pick.
no. Mm-mm.
Like this is a guy that's going to be part of the future of the team. So yeah, hold on to him for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
They
mean,
play
he's
their
having
game.
he's having arguably the best year of his career.
Yeah,
right now.
man. I think in a couple years he'll be 28, 29.
Yeah, he's
He'll
26
be a
right now,
high.
yeah.
He'll
coming
be a
right
high.
into his prime.
He'll
Like,
be a high-level winger
yeah.
with Matvey Michkov and Cutter Gauthier. Think of that first line.
Yeah.
Like that's assuming Gauthier and Michkov hit their ceilings. That's that's a Stanley Cup Finals level first type of line, dude.
What we thought to start the year was that they're going to play games to do this and that, maybe lose a couple here and there, and like be a shitty ass team and tank here and there, but they're playing games to win the game. They're playing hard as shit.
Dude.
Like you said, they're playing. They got balls.
Yeah.
And they're playing
Yeah.
like they got balls. I mean, they
Dude,
don't give a fuck.
their block shots. What game was it? I think it was the Denver, the Colorado game. They were blocking shots left and right. It was either that or the Predators game. I forget which one.
Yeah, the end of the third period of the Predators game,
That's
they
what I'm
were
thinking
getting
of.
like it was like an onslaught from their side, and they were just blocking shots left and
Ugly
right.
fucking
Like,
jerseys.
they
too.
just-
that's
That
torts,
yellow,
dude.
Yeah.
They just play hard, man.
Yeah.
Like, you have Delorier that fight in the third period,
Yeah.
or third period of that
The
game. It
4-year
just
man.
sparked the game, dude. It just sparked the team. It just galvanized the team. Then after that, they were like, all right, Owen Tippett gets decked. Delorier's ready to fight. All right, we got to stand up for Owen Tippett. We got to make sure Delorier's sacrifice wasn't in vain. They came back and tied that game. And that Couture goal was sick.
Yeah.
But I don't.
He looks great. I mean, I remember when the season first started, it was like, okay,
we didn't know what
Couture's-
to expect.
Yeah, and he definitely looked very sluggish and rusty, like he missed a whole year. But he's back to looking like
Killing
a fucking like he could
Selke
could be the
contender.
Selke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If they
Like-
keep playing like this, he's gonna get some votes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think he's probably gonna get the C next year.
He should. People
Should
love
be
Coots.
cool, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
haven't had a C since.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah. They did. He deserves
Since
it.
Giroux left.
He's the veteran.
Big time.
Yeah.
He's what, the second longest tenured athlete
He's been
in
around for
Philly
a while. I
after-
mean, he's been
Yeah.
on the team since he was like 19 years
yeah, he's
old.
the
He's
second
31
longest
now.
tenured athlete in Philly after Brandon Graham.
Mm-hmm.
He deserves the C.
Yep.
He's been playing great though.
killing it.
Yeah, he looks great. Connecting looks great, and that's the thing. Like, you know, I like objectively, like, yes, it would be great to get another top 5 pick, but the flip side of that is that like these with like Connecting and Couturier, that's like 2 guys that you thought were like borderline, like, are they going to be part of this thing or are they not? And I think the answer is like, no, they should be a part of it. And those are like 2 really good players that you have there. So maybe like you don't necessarily need another top 5. I mean, the big thing is like you need Gauthier and Michkov to pan out.
Yeah, you need them to hit their ceilings or come close.
And like
to it.
Gauthier is like, you know, he's a college guy. He looks great right now. We'll see what happens. Like, you know, anything could happen. But with like Michkov, like barring like a catastrophic injury, I'm feeling pretty good about that because it's, you know, obviously we've had some like disappointments with early draft picks, but you know, like Nolan Patrick, he was great in juniors. Provorov was great in juniors.
Provorov, he was good for his first
he was
couple
very
years
good
as
for it. Yeah,
NHLer too.
And then like Morgan Frost looked really great in juniors, but like Matvei Michkov is excelling in the fucking KHL. Like, yeah. I mean, if you look at like comparables and stuff, like
pick it up.
Yeah. Well, with fuck, I forget where he's playing now.
Scott Petersburg.
Well, no, that's the team they got loaned out from.
Oh, right.
He's with Sochi, right?
Hell yeah, was it Winter Olympics?
I forget.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah,
I forget. But he's doing great, and he's only like 19. You know, his like production playing in a league like that should, like, barring something
he's
crazy.
He's playing against grown men that wrestle with grizzly
exactly.
bears, dude. He's good.
Yeah, should translate very well. So like, yeah, I think everything's looking up. I mean, it's funny. Like, now I feel like people are going to be really way more, you know, wanting to pressure them to try to bring him over sooner. Because you know, when they drafted him, it's like, okay, we got like 3 years to get this rebuild going. Like, we'll probably get another 1 or 2 like
top
high
3
picks or whatever. Yeah. But now it's like, fuck, we need this guy. Well, like I want to get this guy
but
now.
The politics of that may or may not work. Like the literal politics of that may or may not work out.
I mean, it is what it is. If we don't get him for another like 2.5, 3 years or whatever it is, then
that's fine. We'll get Gauthier. At least
Gauthier will be
his
up.
Feet wet. Konechny continue to build his case for stardom.
Yeah.
Figure Pat's boy, Carter Hart. Figure out if we're going to keep him or not.
Love that man.
Harrison looks pretty good, though.
Yeah.
I sat here and said he wasn't an NHL goalie a few weeks ago. He's been playing pretty good.
Yeah, he's been very good. And then you got Kolosov, who could be a good prospect. So, like, the goaltending pipeline looks good. Whether, you know, in the future, whether that's Carter Hart or someone else, like, you know.
The D-man, we got our boy Ali Bunk.
Yeah, he looks good.
Bonk.
A couple of their draft picks look pretty good. Like that dude, Barkey.
Yeah,
he's looked really good in juniors. Which again, like, you know, who knows how any of these guys turn out. But
well, I will say though, like, it is one thing to like have a rebuilding year and one thing to like be like I don't know what we're gonna do. But I will say it is nice to see that when we thought, and I feel like most Philadelphia teams do this, for like when you expect the least, they give you the most. And it's nice to see that, and you feel good because then the city like can get behind that team. But like, you know what? Yeah, at least they're trying to do some things and win some games, and they have scrappy wins. But a lot of times too, recently they've having pretty fucking good wins.
Yeah, I mean to beat Colorado handily on the road, like
they were like the better team in that game. That wasn't like because the other thing is, you know, it'd be one thing if they were getting all these wins because like Carter Hart was just playing out of his mind and like stealing wins or whatever. Right. But like no, like if you look at their underlying metrics, like they've been actually like the better team.
Dude, I brought this up a couple times. They've been killing teams and out shooting them.
Yeah.
And it's not like these are cheapies. They've had some really good high quality chances, whereas the other teams haven't.
And if you factor in like the blocked shots, it's even because it's funny. Like I feel like I'm like way back into hockey now because I'm like on Hockey Reference looking at like who's got the best like Fenwick on the Flyers.
Oh, for sure, man. I'm checking out these Corsi's and these expected goals,
which I haven't done for like the past few years.
You used to like a Torts offense for like we had him for a year last year. Like the team wasn't. We had so many weird bag of free agents and perennial Flyers that were here. You had Giroux and all the shit, like everybody else that was here that couldn't really function together as a team, but they trimmed a lot of fat this season from office to on the ice.
Yeah.
And honestly, you see it playing out because Torts has a team now where a lot of those young guys that were here last year are used to that.
Yeah, they're in his system.
Beating the balls off to play good practices, and they're just playing hard fucking hockey, which is good to see. They're playing, but they got nothing to lose, and they really don't. I mean, the city has no expectation. The team has no expectation.
What was the one Carter Hart quote? I'm sorry, I keep cutting you off.
Go for it.
Carter Hart
he said nobody wants us to win.
Yeah,
people don't want us to win, so it's kind of fueled us.
Yeah, they're not expecting
dude,
it.
He really said that
because they're not. I mean, we all said it from the start of the season. After the Sixers had that terrible loss, where Flyers were let's just see what they do. We hate the jerseys. That was our biggest conversation was the fact that they had the fucking IBX thing on their jersey.
Yeah, I do
we
remember.
didn't
we got the color right.
We didn't care about the players, and now we're talking about playoffs. That's what I'm saying.
We're talking 6 shots of 99 bananas.
Yeah, I mean, that's all I'm saying. This team is playing with some fucking, no pun intended, a little bit of heart up in here, and they're playing like there's no tomorrow, which is great to see. That's a true Flyers team to play balls out to the wall. They don't give a fuck. They're scoring points. They're winning games, or at least they're dragging them out to the fucking overtime and winning some points here and there. They're doing well.
Yeah, I will say, speaking of going to overtime and getting the loser point, they should not have, or they might have still lost that game in Nashville, but the way they lost that game, that goal Harrison gave up was, that was soft as
brutal.
Baby Dookie, dude.
Brutal.
Yeah, especially how they came back from behind.
Yeah, I thought for sure they were going to win that game. And then I see him stop the puck. I'm messing around on my phone, and I look up, I'm like, oh, he stopped it. And I see it just trickle in 5-4. I'm just like, oh, Christ. But Nashville had been playing good. We got 5 out of 6 games on that, or 5 out of 6 points on that road trip. Yeah, I mean, the team's playing well. Briere had some interesting quotes. Charlie O'Connor of PHLY did an interview with him, and he asked him a couple questions specifically about the rebuild. So he asked him, I forget what this question was, but it was something related to keeping the rebuild going. Briere's answer, yes, we're going to do the right thing for the future of the organization. I think we're still in that stage. We have a lot of young players. We have a chance to build something special. I want to make sure that we get out of that thing. The last probably 10 years where we're always on the cusp. Right, dude. He was probably a part of the end of that.
Yep.
1 year we make the playoffs barely. The following year we miss the playoffs barely. We got to get out of that area. What we're trying to do is build a team that's going to be a contender for a lot of years, not just for 1 year. Hell yeah. I've been impressed with that, with what the guys are doing this year, but we have to be realistic that if there's something that's going to help us for years to come, you have to consider that as well. So Charlie asks a follow-up question. I guess as a follow-up to that, do you envision a scenario where you would consider buying at the March 8th trade deadline? I would say no at this point. Things can always change, things can vary, but at the moment I would have to say no. At the same time, they're playing so well together. I think they love each other. Oh, how cute. The players would probably, ideally for them, they would just want to keep the same team and keep proving to everyone that they're ready to win. You have to be careful with that as well, but we're not in a place to be getting rid of assets in the timeline of this organization. So in spite of everything that's going right, I feel pretty strongly that Briere is not going to just buy because they're close.
Yeah.
He knows that this is for more than just a playoff berth, which is awesome. Sure, he had to get the okay from ownership and from Keith Jones to say that and to really feel that way, but I think the Flyers are truly on the up and up, man.
He knows what they have. I mean, he sees that the team has potential. No one gave them a fucking flying chance, like a snowball's chance in hell to go anywhere near the playoffs this year. Right now, they're playing as if, like you said before, Trevor, like they're a playoff team. At the stands right now, they're a playoff team.
Yeah.
But to Briere's part, like, hey, we get it. We might be used to the playoffs, but it's not about – we're not going to make a deep run this season.
He knows that, yeah.
But you keep the main core that got you to this point, and you build on that. Where I feel like he's saying, the last couple of years, you get to the playoffs, you don't get to where you want to go, you trade off some people, you get some draft picks.
It's also like that's like the benefit of having a GM who's like kind of starting like a new thing,
has some
and
job
not a
security.
guy who's desperate to keep his job,
Yeah.
and is gonna like trade off assets to
Plus
like
you have
get
a younger GM who's just starting his career.
Also,
GM,
as a player that has been
because
to
they
teams,
they're probably gonna pick up some more picks in at the deadline.
Yeah.
They're probably gonna end up trading
Sean Walker, he out, dude.
Yeah.
and
He's been playing great, but he out.
expiring contract. You definitely get
Maybe
rid
you
of
can
him.
unload Cam Atkinson. He starts to play a little better.
but
Yeah.
also having a having a GM that has been a player that went to the finals and then that team kind of really didn't really do anything after that too extensively, to be able to see what he has potentially here, it's good to see.
Yeah, I'm excited, man. Reading some of those quotes, he did this whole interview with Charlie. He did 2 interviews, or a 2-part interview with Charlie. Reading some of those quotes, I'm like, damn, we got the guy, dude. He's like Hinkie, but unlike Hinkie, no one's gonna force him out.
Right. Yeah.
But
Well, that really happens in the NHL.
Right.
There's not enough money involved for
The
him to be
NBA
that
is its own
mad.
beast. But what was the other thing I was gonna say about the Flyers, real quick? Did I have it written down? Damn, I didn't have it written down. We can forget that I was going to say something else about the Flyers. That whiskey's hitting a little bit.
You have another one?
I'll do
good.
another. Did the Flyers win? Hold up. Have they won yet?
I gotta pee first.
Go pee real quick. Oh, they won!
Hey!
Oh,
all right,
no,
then we should do one.
Yes, sir. We got to do another one. 4-3.
All right, baby.
So, yeah, go pee real quick. Me and Trevor will sit here and act like we like each other.
Yeah. I guess should we shift to the Sixers?
Yeah, we can
got
talk
a little
some
bit of time.
Sixers
We're
real
kind
quick.
of like running. I mean, where are we at?
We
here?
got time, dude.
We got like 15 minutes.
Yeah, we got time. But, yeah, so the Sixers been playing good.
Yeah.
Dude.
Joe Embiid is amazing. Like, it really is like every once in a while you have to like kind of take a step back and be like, as bad as frustrating as this team has been for the past however many years, like we do get to every couple of days sit there and watch a generational talent in Embiid, and he's playing better than he was last year. I think like Nick Nurse's influence has been good. I think he himself has put a little more emphasis on like the playmaking stuff. Like he's averaging like 6 or 7 assists a game.
6.4
recently.
assists. I have it written
Yeah,
down.
over the season, yeah. But like, yeah, he looks great. And it is really funny to me that like I thought, because after last year I thought we were pretty much done with all this like MVP debate
for
stuff.
sure, for real,
and sure enough, it's starting right back up again.
Dude, he's number 1 on Basketball Reference and NBA.com's MVP ranking. It's not even close.
Yeah, he's killing it, and it's so funny. Like I always like just like the masochist in me. Whenever I see like tweets that are just like talking about how great of a night Embiid has, I always have to click it and look at the replies.
Oh, I do this. I do the same thing.
There's always
people are like foul merchant.
Yeah, foul guy. They're posting like the compilation of him like flopping or whatever.
Yeah, I do the same fucking thing. Yep.
And it's like so funny. And meanwhile, like Giannis has had more free throw attempts than he has this year, which is like pretty much always true. It's so funny. Like it's just one of those things where it's like it feels like every accusation is a confession with the way that people talk about like Embiid. Like,
dude, the thing is,
like he does this, does that. It's like, I don't know. I think your guy does that.
People don't really appreciate his greatness. I tried to say this last week, but we were running out of time. I think sometimes we take how good he is for granted.
Yeah.
Like the dude, he's had multiple games this year where he puts up 40 and 10 in 3 quarters and just sits out the fourth quarter.
Yeah, I know. Like
of
I think
the 20 games he's played, he's sat out 7 fourth quarters.
I know. It's insane.
And he's still averaging 34 points, 11.5 rebounds, 6.5 assists, and 2 blocks on 52% shooting. He's not even playing third quarters in almost a third of his games.
How many games in a row does he have right now at 30-plus points?
Eight games in a
He
row
just tied
with
the
30 and
Sixers
10.
record.
As a fucking center.
Wow.
It makes no sense. I mean, he's led the league in scoring, I think, what, 2 years?
2 years in a row.
2.5.
He's on the way to doing it again.
He'll be the first player to do it 3 years in a row since the 70s.
And got to be the first center to do that.
And, that's what I mean. The first guy, the first center, I'm sorry.
I mean,
to
that's
do it 3 years in a row.
unreal. the fact that he's that big, that efficient, that effective in the paint.
And just the way, like, he does some of the things he does, man. Like, I had this joke in our group chat that Embiid will never, he just always misses those end of, like, quarter, end of half threes that he takes.
Yeah.
Like, there's just random pull-up threes where he's rushing for a 2-for-1 and just bricks it by a mile. But how many centers in the league do you know that are capable of just grabbing a rebound and going coast to coast and just chucking up a three and hoping it goes in? Not many.
2.
Yeah, there's Jokic, Embiid, and that's it, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? And then, like, just defensively, some of the impact that he makes, people will say, like, yeah, Jokic is the best player in the league. Yeah, I would say, based on the finals last year, Jokic is probably better than Embiid.
And I don't know if you touched on it when I was going, like, you look at Pat Bev, too. Pat Bev's like, Embiid's a beast. Just give him the fucking ball. Like, that guy is dominating.
Pat Bev was funny when Taryn Hatcher interviewed him. I could tell he wanted to say, that motherfucker's something. You could tell he was thinking about how he wanted to say it. And then he was like,
he didn't have that Miller Lite saying, that's why.
Man, he's something else. What are you doing that for?
I don't know.
You shooting me over here? But,
Embiid
then Pat Bev did hit on Taryn Hatcher a little bit.
I mean, come on now.
I mean, I don't blame him. Pat Bev's got some balls, though, dude. He's on TV hitting on the sideline reporter. But anyway.
What's he got to lose? Nothing.
Pat Bev's the man. He can do whatever he wants in this city. We'll get to him in a second.
But yeah, Embiid, I think that it's funny because before the season started, we were all like, like he won the MVP.
Oh, we were over the Sixers.
You know, we were like, fuck this team, whatever. Similar to, you know, not as the same as the Flyers. We were like, well, no expectations. At least the Flyers like showed up doing some crazy shit without expectations. The Sixers have the roster, but we didn't know what was going to happen with the coaching change.
Well, we didn't know what's going to happen with Harden.
James Harden and all this shit. But Embiid is still Embiid, looking honestly healthier than ever and
for now
dominant for now. But it is what
Fingers
it is.
Crossed.
He's still putting up mad points. I mean, triple doubles, double doubles, 30+ points a game every time he plays. It's unreal, and I think that a lot of that goes to Nick Nurse. I think that's a big kudos to him, big time.
Yeah, I think certainly Embiid as a passer and as a facilitator, and also as a rebounder too. Embiid was kind of just lazy on rebounds last year. A lot of that goes to Nick Nurse just saying, yeah, if we're going to get to where we need to go, 2 things you need to do is you need to hustle, you need to rebound and play your ass off, and also you need to become a better passer. And to his point, Embiid's done a lot of that. Like Embiid's 2-man game with Maxey where he's throwing the ball between his legs. Like, yeah, a lot of that looks showy, but when he's throwing the ball between his legs, as opposed to just handing it off to him, the defender... That puts the defender in a bind. You can, if he hands it off to Maxey around his back, the defender can follow Maxey. If he throws it between the legs, the defender's not following Embiid through his legs. You know what I'm saying? It puts the defender in a bad spot. Yeah. Exactly. And
if he fakes it, bang.
Yeah, if he fakes it, then you've seen a lot of that too.
What are you going to do is if you can't, like you said, you can't do anything. You're just standing there.
You've seen a lot more of Embiid running a fast break. Teams are in cross matches where they have a forward or a guard on him. Embiid either takes him down in the weight room or he sees that he's got the Anthony Melton or Maxey open on the wing because they have a center on them who's playing down in the paint. Wide open 3 every time.
And I think, though, as a 7-foot player, too, at 250, whatever it is, like
280,
and a volleyball player, I think that his body's built for, he's really, as much of a contact guy that he is in the NBA, his body's built as a non-contact person. And I mean that in the sense that, like, to your point, Avery, like, his body's built on misdirection. So if he can avoid getting hit or avoid getting that shot from the other team's big, that's when he thrives.
Yeah.
Like, he wants to have that misdirection so he can get that clean shot to the paint, do whatever he's got to do, maybe take that little drop back, step back shot in the paint. He's not sustainable as a big bruiser guy like Shaq could have been, is what I'm saying. Where, like, we've seen it year over year where Embiid goes the whole year, MVP caliber year, but he takes so many hits or falls over so many times as a 7-foot man that, like, his knees and joints just get fucking busted up. How many times have we seen in the playoffs where his can't play because his knees out of whack?
Yeah.
But I think this year is looking pretty good for his health, at least.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, fingers crossed. Hope he stays healthy. But
besides Embiid
so far,
and
so
Maxey,
good.
who's impressed you more in this offense?
Batum.
Big time.
Batum's been a great addition.
Yeah.
I think he's had a pretty good connection with Embiid. Had some good the French connection. Yes, exactly. But yeah, he's like it's like funny how well that like Harden trade has worked out because originally we thought like, well, this is just all about just like dumping Harden off and hoping we get something, but Batum's been like a good return. He's been nice. He can hit some threes. He can like take those like baseline cuts and get some passes from Embiid.
It's also nice to see like Rocco own his role too, because he's been like, you know what,
he hasn't really been playing. But...
No, but he said, but people asked him earlier, like last week or 2 weeks ago, they were like, "How do you feel about your role?" He's like, "You know what, I've been on multiple teams. I understand that like I'm an older vet at this point in his career, but there's no. What I've seen on this team is that." The egotistical person has left the building. There's no one on this team.
We got rid of Harden.
There's no team that has an ego. They're all like, listen, I'm just trying to fucking win. We understand what we have. We have a MVP caliber player in Embiid. We have a young stud, potential MVP. Obviously, too much to put on it right now, but a young stud in Maxey. We have a good core, a young coach that wants to play in a modern day era basketball. They just want to win games. No matter how they pull it out. It's fun to see a team that just vibes together and wants to win games. And I feel like we haven't seen that really in a while, since maybe like right after the post-tank era where like the team was kind of like, oh, we got Embiid, we got Simmons,
Yeah, that early, those teams were fun.
This
with
team
JJ
is actually
Redick
having
and
fun. Like
whatnot.
they're just playing like they just want to play basketball. And they're chilling, they're figuring it out. When they lose, they lose. That's fine. When they win, they're like, shit, we did it. We're going to have fun. We're going to have a beer in the lock, whatever. It just is a good feeling to have, as opposed to having the pressure of like, oh, Doc we didn't win the game against Boston because I couldn't figure it out, whatever. Like,
it was a schedule loss.
They're just we got our ass beat. We'll get fucking Milwaukee tomorrow, and they do, and it's fun to see.
Yeah, I think, shit. I mean, I've been calling for this guy to come to Philly for 5 years. He's finally here. A lot of the good vibes.
Hello,
my man, dude, Pat Bev. As I'm about to open my Victory Miller Lite.
Who would have thought another Pat in Philadelphia drinking Miller Lite? Look at this.
The legend, the man, the myth, dude.
You've been calling that shit for years right now.
Yes, sir. I've been saying Pat Bev would have been a great Sixer for years, and he even said on his podcast, I should have been playing here my whole career. The feeling is mutual. Pat Bev, man, cheers to you, bro. We fucking love you, dude. But I think a lot of the good vibes.
He's been shooting well too, man. He's been
killing
hitting threes.
Yeah, since that Boston game, he's been
looking
crushing
pretty
it.
good on offense. There was that one. I can't remember. I think it was maybe the last game where he was just like. It was funny because it was one of those plays where you're just like kind of watching and like, but because he was just dribbling it all around the floor.
He does that a lot.
He does like
finally
run around
cut
a lot.
it through and like had like kind of a reverse layup or whatever. It was like, damn, okay.
Yeah. He's proven to be a pretty solid secondary ball handler. Not great, but he gets the job done when you need him to. But also, like, offensively, man, to your point, he's been shooting the lights out of the ball.
Yeah.
Ever since that Lakers game where they just left him open and Austin Reeves disrespected him, he said on his pod, yeah, I had it personal against Austin Reeves. He came to Chicago, to my town, and did the too little. I was coming back for you. After that kind of woke him up. I also think he mentioned Nick Nurse said something to him like, yeah, you're too good of a shooter not to shoot. Doc, if someone wasn't shooting good, Doc probably would have been like, yeah, don't shoot the ball.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I mean, Pat Bev is just, he's been such a spark off the bench. Just brings great energy. Last night when he got that dude ejected, did you see on his pod?
When he got thrown off with the elbow in the chest?
Did you see him talking about that on his pod?
No.
So he was talking about it on his pod today, which I got to figure out when he records these pods as an NBA player.
Hysterical.
Like he's got a new pod every day, how he does it.
Yeah.
But anyway, on his pod, he was like, yeah, earlier in the game, I threw a little shoulder and elbow at him. And then I knew someone on their team was going to be mad at me. He was like, yeah, because I've been jacking them up all night. And then finally he's like, yeah, he came in, he hit me with the shoulder, the elbow, and the chest. I was like, yeah, that's what we get. Hit me with my shit. I hit you with yours. That's why you out. Pat Bev was instigating the whole game trying to get someone thrown out. That's why after it happened, Pat Bev didn't lie on the ground and act like he was hurt. He got up and started clapping. He was souped.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
See, man, he's an agitator. He's an instigator. He's the heart and soul of the team. Plays great defense.
That's what Philadelphia is all about.
That's
You keep poking around. Yeah.
I've known he was a dog for years, man. I'm so happy he's here. And that he's playing good. Like I said before, he could have been ass.
That will pay off big time in the playoffs. Big time in the playoffs.
'Cause I remember when they first signed him, it's like, oh, this is kind of fun, I guess, but I'm not expecting him to actually contribute anything. But he's actually like giving us something.
He's that little pit bull that you want in the backyard that like you might not like pit bulls, but when you have one, you're like, hell yeah, I love having a pit bull. Like, you know what I mean? It'll pay off dividends in the playoffs when you want somebody got to get out.
He's got that toughness and that grit.
Yeah.
He's phenomenal. 10 over 10, phenomenal athlete.
You ever need to bite off a child's face?
Yeah, you want Pat Bev in your life. You want Pat Bev in your fucking. You want Pat Bev on your side. I'm not gonna lie.
He might.
He's been killing it, and he might fuck around and get 25 points.
Yeah, like that Boston game. Even though we lost, it wasn't because of him.
But still.
Yeah, Pat Bev is the man, dude.
And he knows that. I mean, I just love that he understands that. Like he respects he just loves being in Philadelphia.
Yeah,
that's all you want.
The quintessential Philly athlete of the last 20 years.
Like I said, there's no ego on this team on the Sixers, which we haven't seen honestly since before Ben Simmons, because Ben Simmons brought that shit big time. Yeah, so like this team is honestly. Embiid just wants to win a championship wherever he is, whether it's Philly or if he leaves Philly and goes somewhere else. This team just wants to fucking win. And I think that Nick Nurse is the guy that, like,
he's won a
also wants to win it. He wants to be a coach who, like, wins again somewhere else. That'd be great to win twice in 2 different cities. Yeah. You know?
And he's won a championship in the last 5 years, unlike Doc.
Right. Also,
who had won one in 2008 when things were totally different.
Hall of Famers.
Also, could be the, correct me if I'm wrong, could be the only coach that wins in 2 different countries, too.
Maybe. That's good. I'm sure it's someone. No, because the Raptors had never won one before Nick Nurse. Yeah, you're probably right. Damn.
You know, so he's got a chip on his shoulder, too. He has history on his back, too.
Yeah,
I think that could be a cool thing that if he, you know, that'd be kind of sick.
That would be cool.
Yep.
Yo, hold up real quick before we wrap up. Do y'all want to talk about this Draymond thing?
The Draymond thing. That was funny. I mean,
he deserved this one.
Yeah.
You don't
suspended indefinitely.
This one. Yeah. What?
No, I don't.
It is.
I don't like Rudy Gobert. So when he choked Rudy Gobert out, I was like, Rudy Gobert's an asshole. Yeah. He was patient zero. I don't like Rudy Gobert.
It's just hilarious that Draymond was like, well, I didn't mean to hit him like that. And it's like, what do you think was going to happen when you swung your arm around?
Right, you're almost 7 feet tall. You got an 8-foot wind up. That shit was you.
Yeah, he popped him in the side of the head.
You have 15 seconds to realize what you're doing before you get to the fucking neck.
Closed fist and like a couple inches up, he could have killed him.
I think he who'd he hit? Who'd he hit?
Nurkic. Yusuf Nurkic.
Yeah, well, fucking whatever.
Nurkic is I was watching that game, and Draymond was being physical the whole game. And I went to bed at halftime, but I went to bed thinking, Draymond's going to do something stupid this game. And I wish I'd stayed up like an extra 20 minutes.
Nurkic wants to press charges now.
For real?
He said, who's going to draw the line? Maybe it'll be me.
For real?
Swear to God.
Damn.
Draw that line, big dog. See what happens.
The NBA
I don't know.
is so dramatic, dude. This thing with Giannis and the game ball.
Oh, yeah, the game ball thing. Yeah,
the
that
NBA
is so funny.
stays on some drama, man. Giannis scoring 64
points. How are you going to
points.
be that bent out of shape about a fucking game ball? What are you like?
Out.
This is my ball.
For like a ball that you're just going to put on a shelf and probably never look at again.
Right.
Like,
you just put a different random book. Go to fucking Modell's.
This guy has won a championship, like 2 MVPs.
Ready to fight the whole Pacers team running backstage and telling them to give him the fucking ball.
Giannis is like, I don't know. I mean, like, I like Giannis, but like, he's kind of, his stock's like, as far as his like, personality and shit has kind of gone down the past couple years.
He's also
doing that and last year with the thing with the ladder
that
game.
Was funny as hell.
It's just
the
like
best thing Montrezl Harrell did as a Sixer.
It's just like, dude, what is this guy's fucking problem, dude? Like,
he would have got that ball, I'd be like, this is not the ball that I scored 64 points with.
I could tell. I could feel the ball. It was not. It was. I don't think it was the game ball, man.
Yeah.
Come on now. What a fucking freak.
It would be funny. That's what I would have done if I was the
Yeah.
guys in the locker room. I just would have handed him some random ball. Like, yeah, that's it, man. Here
This
you go.
shit just smell like olive oil. What? I mean,
Dude, nah, man. That's why Embiid's stats across the board are better. And like right now, at least as of a week ago, right? All the NBA podcasts I listened to still had Jokic as number 1 MVP. Then a lot of them had Giannis number 2. Even though Embiid's stats is better, Embiid's not sitting there fighting a whole team.
Dude,
over
if you look at like the
goddamn
little like spray
basketball.
from the Giannis his like 64-point game where we look at like the spray
He
chart,
bricked a bunch
it's
of threes,
all around the net. Like
He bricked a bunch of threes.
He can't shoot.
no.
Which like fine.
Yo,
like,
Giannis has no bag. Dude.
Yeah, he has no bag. He can't shoot, which is like whatever, fine. Like he's still he's still like an amazing player. He's great at what he does.
Man. Fuck that guy.
But it's like Embiid can dribble around and give you like a fucking fadeaway jumper or like to beat the shot clock and like sink a 3 or like whatever.
Embiid had the AI step back the
Yeah,
other
it's
night
insane,
where he
yeah.
hit the crossover between the legs and the fadeaway.
And people just like pretend like he doesn't do that, and all he does is like drive through net, get fouled or whatever.
But that's
It's
what
like,
happened last year, though,
it's
around
insane.
the MVP vote. They don't respect the fact that, like, yeah, Jokic gets, like, his points for sure, but, like, Embiid gets his points way more fucking poetically than anybody else does
Yeah.
as a 7-foot
Embiid's a
center.
He's essentially a 7'2" Kobe Bryant.
Led the league in points 2 years in a row, which, come on now. The way that he does it makes no fucking sense. You're going to give... it's unreal the disrespect that he gets.
I wouldn't be surprised if he gets it this year. I also wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't, just because a lot of the writers are jaded and feel as though, yeah, Embiid let them down last year. We don't want to vote for him again. But
MVP doesn't guarantee a fucking championship. MVP just means
it's a
that you were
regular
the
season
most
award.
right.
Yeah,
You
for
were
sure, for real.
as a center to lead the league in points 2 years in a row. He didn't get it the year before that. Did it again, and finally won it barely. Honestly, you know, it came down to the fucking trenches at that point. Like people were like, "Oh well, hope he gets it. Who knows who gets it?" Are you kidding me?
Jokic isn't playing nearly as good. He's still playing
Also,
great.
his offense bends well to Jokic's game. He's dishing out assists. He's got guys that can shoot.
He's
you
kind
know,
of doing his Jokic impression.
you can get
this
a
year.
triple-double easy money. If Embiid was playing for the Nuggets, he would also get triple-doubles every other night, but he's not. He has to facilitate the ball every fucking play. Well, last year at least. Last year at least. This year different. Last year he had to, and still was leading the league in points. That's all I'm saying.
But
I'll fucking fight Jokic right now. I don't give a shit.
Jokic is 7 feet, 280 pounds. He would rock you, dude.
Nah. There's a way. It's a Ukrainian fighter. You can't say it right now out loud, but
How many rounds do you
figure it
think you
out.
could go with him?
Probably at least 2.
You seen Jokic when he gets mad? He knocked Markieff Morris out for like half a season.
First step,
he would destroy
First step,
you.
we go to a horse race. Second step, we get really drunk. Third step, then we
Jokic
fight.
can probably drink like a fish, dude. He's huge.
Psh, I ain't worried about his bitch
I'm not
ass.
fine. I respect Jokic. Yo, we should go to the Sixers Nuggets game whenever that is, but different.
I ain't
story.
worried about his Croatian ass. What is he?
He's Serbian.
Serbian.
Damn.
Fuck that.
Now
same
you're being
fucking
racist.
thing. It's the same. It ain't racist. It's the same thing. Serbia,
no, it isn't.
Croatia,
It's
Serbia.
2 different countries.
Fuck that, man. Fuck that.
They
shit.
are kind of similar, actually.
They
I was
are
reading
very
some-
similar.
It's still 2 different countries.
Yeah.
That's
Croatia-
like saying
I think it's like-
America
I think
and
it's like
Canada is the
Croatia-
same thing. They aren't.
Well,
Yeah, I mean,
it's not racist. I'm just saying what I'm saying about Serbia and Croatia. Fuck that shit.
well, that's about all the time we're going to have
Hold
tonight.
on, we got to do these shots on camera
What are
for
you
the
talking
Flyers.
about? For the
The Flyers won, bitch. Then we can close it down.
Fine.
This is what happens when we do too many shots on the citywide
Man,
pod.
People start
you're
getting
the
all
guy who
mad.
doesn't- You're the guy who doesn't have work tomorrow, man. I still gotta.
I
I
took-
gotta work. I get to work from home tomorrow. So
I
it's
took
not that
off
bad.
on the pod. I said, I can't come in.
You text work right
Yeah, I
now?
said, I can't come in. Yeah.
You really?
I gotta fight some Serbian tomorrow.
Yeah. There's a 7-foot man. That,
Yeah, there's a giant
This is
man.
a 7-foot Serbian man
saying
who loves
some nasty
horses.
things.
So I gotta fight a 7-foot Serbian who plays the NBA for the Denver Nuggets at my doorstep tomorrow.
All right, one last
All right,
time.
one more.
One
Let's
more
go
for the Gipper.
Flyers. Flyer up.
Yeah, Flyers. Get it.
Now you can close this down. We give you permission. I give you
right.
permission.
That is just about going to do it for us tonight here, ladies and gentlemen. Please leave us a 5-star rating and review wherever you get your podcast. Give us a subscribe on YouTube, follow on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram. Leave us an email at citywidepod@gmail.com.
Thumbs up this video.
Yeah. And from all of us here at the Citywide, good morning, good afternoon, good night.
Peace.
Go Birds.